Hi, my name is Sophia Becker. I manage the paid media team here at ValueSetters, paid search in particular. I've been working in digital media for years now, and the channel that I've seen to be most valuable to new brands and businesses has been paid search, most definitely. So what is paid search, right? Paid search is run on a platform called Google Ads, formerly AdWords, if that's how you came to know it. Cool, so Google Ads 101. Let's start from the basics. There are paid ads on Google, and then there is organic search traffic. When you search for something in Google, you will most likely see a few ads at the top of the page before organic results begin. And again, organic is not paid advertisement. These results are in an auction, and businesses are using Google Ads to manage campaigns and bids to keep their ads showing on certain search keywords. So that's the gist of paid search. That might sound like a lot if you're unfamiliar with how all that works, but we'll begin to break it down here over the next few slides. So what are the benefits of Google Ads? The platform allows marketers to build and optimize on ad campaigns. These campaigns go live, and then we can use Google Ads to track a variety of performance metrics, monitor unique conversions, and capture data that provides continuous learning and helps us optimize and grow in efficiency. A lot of that is manual levers that we can pull, but Google also maintains its own algorithm that optimizes your ads based on a few different things. The most impactful of those being ad relevancy to the keyword that's searched, and alignment with Google best practices. So we're getting a little off track here, but I feel it's worth it to briefly touch on Google's best practices. A smart marketer knows that half of your success in Google campaigns is continuing to optimize and align with Google's best practices. That means utilizing ad extensions, all headlines and description lines, amongst other things, but that may be going right over your head, but I just wanted to provide a little context there. Okay, moving along. Earlier, I touched on how paid ads sit in an auction, and this auction is built on a CPC model. That means cost per click. So say there are a bunch of advertisers bidding on the same keyword, and the advertiser showing at the #1 position, meaning the first ad on the search page, is paying $2.25 for that position. You would only have to pay $2.26 to show in the position above them. So the auction is only as competitive as the advertisers within it. So maximum CPC. There's a tool in Google Ads called Auction Insights that lets us see who is bidding on the same terms as us. And after we collect those learnings, there are a few different levers we can pull. We can use Google's automated bid strategy. It's called top of page, which auto adjusts our bids so that we always show at the top of the page. This can be expensive depending on the competitiveness of the auction, but likely will cost a lot. We can also do things like show on first page, or just manually check in on bids daily and adjust based off of what we're seeing. If you're starting with a larger budget, Google's auto bidding performs really well, and your ads will always be showing at the top of the page. However, if your starting budget is a bit smaller, there are more manual levers, like I had mentioned, that we can pull to make sure our ads are showing where we want them to be, and at a bid price that makes sense for us. So now we want to set up a campaign. The first thing you need to account for when launching a paid search campaign in the equity crowdfunding space are your FINRA compliance guidelines. These guidelines are broken out below in this slide and are pretty explicit. I think the one rule here that often gets overlooked is the first one. You have to make sure the ad is driving directly to your offering page on the site that it lives on. Not only does this break compliance if it doesn't, but the relevance of your ad in Google's auction will actually weaken if you are advertising for one thing and driving the user to another. So not only will your CPCs be higher and less efficient, but there's a strong chance that Google will flag your ad and not even allow it to run. So the rest of these are pretty straightforward here, but that top one, number one, that's pretty important. So when we're ready to build out our campaigns, we want to break them out between brand and non-brand. Our brand campaigns typically have low CPCs, little to no competition, especially for a smaller or newer business, and ultimately the most efficient performance metrics. So let me back up and give you a structural overview here. You have your brand campaign, then your branded ad groups, and that's where you can categorize your keywords and then keywords and ads within each ad group. This structure is a Google best practice and therefore the best and most efficient way to optimize and maintain our campaigns. So let's use Whole Foods as an example. If you're Whole Foods, your brand keywords are Whole Foods or the Whole Foods closest to me. Basically any search that contains Whole Foods, that's triggering your brand campaign to show that ad to the user. Pretty straightforward. Opposite of brand campaigns are non-brand campaigns. Non-brand is where the opportunity lies. So within non-brand, we're targeting users who are unfamiliar with our brand and ultimately expanding our business. Because it's more competitive, non-brand tends to have slightly higher CPCs and requires daily optimizations and more hands-on marketing tactics. So going back to our Whole Foods example, some non-brand keywords would be to the likes of organic markets or the best supermarket near me. If you had those keywords in your non-brand campaigns, a user searching that exact term or something similar to that term that contains your keyword in it, and you can control that, our ad will show. Cool, so moving on to audience layering. Like I had mentioned, non-brand campaigns tend to be pretty competitive. If you think about it, you're opening up your targeting and bidding on keywords that almost any business could bid on. So if you have a smaller budget, how do we make sure you're not wasting your dollars, right? The answer is audience layering. I mean, there are a few other things that we can do, but audience layering has the potential to make the largest impact on your non-brand campaign. Within Google Ads, we can layer on affinity and in-market audiences to campaigns to hone in on specific users. So, for example, we can target avid investors and seed funding. Google builds these lists by creating signals based off of search intent, and then surveys, and finally matches those users to people who look like them within Google's database. These are called lookalike lists and are also a great targeting method within the platform. We stray away from targeting audiences in brand campaigns because as a brand, it's important to show on all searches that contain your brand. So we wouldn't want to miss out on any volume there. And lastly here, retargeting. Retargeting is a great method to use after you've been running search campaigns for a while. While your normal search campaigns are live, Google is building lists of people based off of certain behaviors. For example, people who clicked on our ad and then left the page, people who maybe clicked on the invest button on the page but did not invest, or people who invested once but not twice. We want them to come back. So with this data, we can build out unique retargeting campaigns with specific ad copy that speaks to users at different points in the funnel. And that funnel is going from least likely to convert to the most likely to convert. So we can have a more engaging dialogue that's kind of like, come back to us if you've already converted, or something that, speaks to the brand and why someone would want to convert on it if we're trying to get them to convert, things like that. It's different in each case, but that's the gist of it. Okay, so I think we've covered off on the basics here. Google Ads is complex, and running efficient campaigns takes marketers with considerable experience and expertise in their field. Should you choose ValueSetters to launch your equity crowdfunding paid search campaign, know that we make the process simple. We'll initially meet to discuss goals and key performance indicators. We'll then provide you with a campaign recommendation that details campaigns, ad groups, keywords, ads, ad extensions, and overall strategy for launch. And once that's approved, we'll go ahead and we'll be live. And after that, based off of your preference, we will provide weekly or bi-weekly reporting. And that being said, our team works daily to optimize and monitor our campaign performance. Okay, guys, that's it from me. Thanks for listening. I hope you found this information useful. If you have any questions, please reach out to us at hello@valuesetters.com. Thank you.